Welcome to Skunk Work. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about micrometers. How to read them, how to clean them, and how to use them. Now, micrometers are a very simple tool used in measuring round stock and many other things. You can measure flat stock, round, square, you name it, you could probably measure it. And what we're going to go over here first are the parts of the micrometer, because it's very important. So you can see right here I have a Micrometer micrometer, and it has a ratchet. Now micrometers come in different sizes, different capacities and sizes. This one is a ratchet, which right here it helps you to feel the pressure when you're measuring an item here. It squeezes it, and when you're new at it, you really don't have the feel for it, so they put this ratchet to kind of hide you. It's like training wheels. They also make friction. This is another Micrometer 01, and you can see by listening there's a big difference in the way it's mechanized. This is the friction one. So when you hold it, it just gently frictions it. And again, this is a 01 Micrometer. And here we have a Starrett. Starrett number 436. So 1 to 2 inch, as you can see right there. And this one has no friction or no ratchet. You can see right here. This is you could say a more advanced micrometer without those features of the ratchet or friction. This is it starts from 1 inch and it ends in 2 inch. That's the maximum amount that you can measure of an item in there. This is a 0 to 1. So you can put between 0 and 1 inch capacity. And then I got one more to show you right here. This is a Chinese one. And there's you see the brand right there. And this is a 2 to 3 with a 1/10 increments. 1/10 or 1/10,000ths. We'll go into that a little later. And again, this one has the ratchet. And again, you can put in measurement here between 2 and 3 inches. You get your good view there, between 2 to 3 inches maximum. Alright, so here's the 10th scale. Like I said, I'll go more into that a little later. Right now, we're going to talk about how to clean your micrometers. And for that, we're going to use this 01 Micrometer. Now this is one I've been using. It's my favorite. Now, let me go into the parts first and then go into the more detail. So the parts that you should understand are these. These are the micrometer construction operating principle. The main parts you should be concerned with is your anvil, the spindle, the sleeve, and the thimble. And now I'll show those parts on here. Here's your anvil right here, spindle, the sleeve, the part where you have your graduation numbers right here, sleeve, and your thimble. Those are the main parts you should be concerned right now for learning how to read a micrometer. Now, You can see here, I have this in my website, and it'll be available for download if you choose, and I have some other goodies for you. This comes from the Stare It How to Read and Use and Care For Micrometer and Vernier Gauges. This goes way back, so you won't find this company. They're out of business. Alright, so the best way to clean your micrometers between the anvil and the spindle is to use a piece of paper. A lot of people don't know this, and they use chemicals like acetone, paint thinner, or solvents, and that's not the way to clean it. The way to clean it is put a piece of paper between the anvil and the spindle, draw it. Now you see that? That's dirt. That's about 1,000 worth of dirt. You get in the front and the back. You get the spindle on the top and the anvil on the bottom. Now, if you want to see that again, let me see if I have the other tutorial here. With the friction. And we're going to squeeze this in. Turn it by turning the thimble. Remember these parts. And let's measure this. Now, I get it in here, and I just see, turn the friction there, and you get to see here that it's reading just under, well, a little over 4,000. And then we come over here and line it up, 4,002 We'll go more into detail on that, but I just wanted to show you how much dirt registers. Now, we got a little friction here, and we're just going to draw the paper. See that? Look at that dirt right there. See that? And let's get into camera view again here. I'm going to open it up, feed it in again. Just lightly use the ratchet, not the ratchet, the friction, and we're going to draw it. Now you see, there's no more dirt. Here's what it came out the first time, and the second time. Remember, it was 4,002. So now we're going to feed it in again, and then and I just use the friction right here. And now this thing should showing 4,000. Now let's see what's wrong with this. There it is, 0 to 0. So it had about 2/10. Remember, the paper has a thickness. So here we go. You see the 0 there, and it lines up with the number 4. And we go back here, and you see there's the 0, and the 0 on the back here lines up with the 4. Again, I'll go more in detail on that. So the paper has a thickness of 4,000. Alright, but the important part is, you saw right here, the dirt. That's about 2/10. So it will change your reading if you don't clean your micrometers. Alright. Now, let's talk about care. Like I said, you should clean your micrometer, keep them clean. You should keep it in the case. This is the case that belongs to this micrometer. And I keep it in here. When I'm using it on the machine, I keep it in the case. Close the case so no chips will fall in there when I'm using the machine. A lot of people don't do that. That's a big way to keep your micrometer dirty from oil and chips and dirt. So use your micrometer. Don't leave it on the machine. Don't leave it on the table. A lot of people leave it on the headstock or the lathe, or leave it on the table there. It gathers up dirt, chips, and a whole bunch of debris. You damage. You need to take care of the micrometer. So that's why you always keep the case. I keep it in the case, close the lid, do what I'm doing, cutting on the machine, take it out, and use it. That's the way you should be using it. That's why I maintain all my cases. I just leave it in the case, close the lid like that, do what I'm doing on the machine, and use it. Same thing with my stirret. I keep it it comes in a little paper paper box, but I keep it in there when I'm using the machine. Just put the lid on like that, make sure it's covered. Do what I gotta do, see? Keep it with tape, but it maintains it clean. Keeps the chips out of it, the dirt, the oil, and everything. Same thing with this wooden box. This one's really nice. It has all this. Locks. If I have to open it. It comes with the locks. We won't go into adjusting it and calibrating it. We're just going to learn how to maintain it and read the micrometer today. Now, let's get going here. Now, when you buy a micrometer, you really, if you're new to it, you don't know which kind of micrometer you should buy. Obviously, you should start with a 0 to 1. But there's many different kinds. Whether you want a ratchet or friction or neither. But the main important thing, this is the main important thing when you're buying a micrometer, is you need to get the carbide tips. A lot of people don't know this. Or if they do know this, they don't do it because these carbide tips are expensive. But you can see, those are carbide tips. These are carbide tips. You can see the dark color difference. So, if you're going to buy your very first micrometer, I would suggest that you buy one with carbide tips. Yes, you're going to pay a little bit more, but in the long run, it's worth it. And the reason why, when you buy, I'll give you an example here. These stirrets, I think they come, I didn't get, these were given to me. And you can see they do not have carbide tips because I did not purchase these. These were given to me when I was in high school. And my dad bought me these. And you can say this is my very first pair. And this is, see, they're high-speed steel. So, what's the difference between these and the carbide? Okay, when you use these, and you're not going to use them just one time. If you're just not using them for, like, hobby 1 or 2 times, it doesn't really matter. But if you're planning to use this in the business, or you're going to be making parts, you're going to be checking stuff, you're going to be doing it hundreds and thousands of times, putting steel in here. And they will wear. Steel wears out. It doesn't last forever. So when it wears out, yes, you can get your adjustment key and adjust it by moving this with the spanner wrench. But that would just wear it out. And you have to get them calibrated. Calibrate it so they maintain and work. See, here's the spanner key wrenches. But you don't want to constantly be adjusting it, Because eventually you're going to adjust it to the point where they don't work anymore. The anvil and the spindle are going to warp, or in such a way that it's going to give you a false reading, and they're going to be worthless. And then you're going to have to buy another pair, when if you just bought the carbide, which lasts a whole lot longer and it's much stronger and better. That's why some of these are even made out of tungsten, which is a harder surface, harder material. But they don't wear. I had this pair for over 30 years. And they've been inspected, because I had to get them, all my tools inspected. And they're still good. And that's because these are very hard. These tips, you can see the darker color on the tip. So when you buy your first pair of micrometer 01, make sure you buy it with the carbide tip. Same thing with your veneer calipers. Make sure you get it with the carbide tip. We'll go into veneers another day. But all right, so you know how to clean it. You know what kind of micrometer to buy. Now let's talk about how to hold a micrometer. The micrometer comes with this C-frame. Now the way to hold it is, see if I can get a shot in my hand here. With these two fingers, you hold it like this, and these, your thumb and your index finger, you rotate the thimble. With these two fingers, you hold it, and this one is just for counterbalance. So it looks something like this. On the bigger ones, you put two in there. With this one, you just get one finger. See, and you hold it here. You support it with your little finger, and then you move it with your index and your thumb. So when you're going to measure something, you just want to hold it this way. Let me see if I get a better shot here. See? Gently squeeze. You're not even squeeze, I said gently. And then you snug it in there. And then you read it. Okay? So you got to make sure how you hold it. There's many different sizes. This is a little bigger frame. You can see here. This one and this one. It's almost double the size. But you hold it the same way. Hold it. See, this one you use your two fingers in the middle. The little pinky to hold the anvil part right there, the frame. And then you move with your thumb and finger. And you hold the part that you're measuring here, and you just mic it. Okay, so now you know how to hold it. A lot of people, they use two hands to hold. You should not use two hands to hold a micrometer. It's only one hand. With the C-frame, hold it just like this. A lot of people, they hold it with two hands. You see somebody holding it with two hands, they don't know what they're doing. You hold it here, lean against the table, and then put the part in there that they want to measure. And then they struggle and hold it. You know, they weren't taught, or they don't know how to hold a micrometer or use it. Alright, so now you know how to clean it. You know all the parts of it, the basic parts. You know how to hold it. Now let's talk about reading a micrometer. Yeah, that's the part you've been waiting for. Okay. Now, there's been a lot of YouTube videos on how to read it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys hear all that and start getting all, oh man, that's all crazy, I never learned that, with all these numbers, thousands and 10,000 and 1/10 of a 10,000. I'm going to make it simple for you. I taught this many times and many people. Alright, here we go. This is basically has 4 lines. 3 that you see, and then a whole number. So I want you to think of this as money. Okay? Each line represents 25 cents. The top numbers represent $1. And how do you make $1? How many pennies does make $1? 100 pennies make $1. Alright, so I want you to remember that. 100 pennies make $1. So how many pennies does it take to make $2? 200. How many pennies does it take to make $3? 300. Alright, so I want you to remember that. Now, on the thimble here, you can see we start from 0 all the way to 24, and basically this is 25. So I want you to think on the thimble here, these are all pennies, 1 cent. So here's your number line. You see that line right there goes all the way across. There's where it tells you what it represents. So if I put this on 0, you have 0 pennies. If I just put it right there, it's showing 20. So you had 20 pennies, okay? 20 cents. Now, this you're going to have to add. So now that you know basically the basics, you need to know the terminology now. Now, remember I told you each line represents 25 cents. So, here's the protocol. You're going to say a number, and after you say that number, you're going to say thousands. Okay? It's that simple. You say a number, then you're going to say thousands. So let's take it step by step. So let's take this example here. We'll just put it right there. Okay. Now, right there, you see what? You see 1 line. So how much is that? That's 25. And now remember I told you, you're going to say a number, and then you're going to say thousands. So you see there are 25,000. Let's not worry about the thimble yet. So we're just going to worry about these lines. And remember, each line represents 25 cents. So right there, you see 1, 2, 3. 3 lines. Because that one is past 0. It's on the, so that's 3 lines right there. It was on the 6. So you're past 0, so it's 3 lines. So what's 3 times 25 cents? 25 plus 25. 25 plus 25 is 50. Plus another quarter is 75. Now, what did I tell you? After you say a number, you want to say thousand. So that's 75,000. Okay? Let's try it one more time. Right there. We see 1 line. We're not talking about these yet. You see 1 line. So that's 25. 25,000. Okay, you got the hang of it? You say a number, and then you say thousands. Alright, now we're going to go to the next step. Up here, these numbers. Remember I told you, these numbers are dollars. And how you make $1? 100 pennies make $1. Okay, so whatever number you see there, when you say this number, the dollar, you're going to say hundreds after it. Alright, so right there, you see how many you see? You see 1, 2. You see 2. So you say the number 2, you say a number, and then you're going to say hundreds. So you say 2 hundreds. Alright? It's that simple. Right there you see 4, and then you say hundreds. Alright? Now remember, the little lines on the bottom, they're all 25 cents. After you say that number, you're going to say thousands. When you see the number on top here, these are dollars. After you say that dollar amount, you're going to say hundreds. Remember, 100 pennies make $1. So that's why you're going to say hundreds after you say this number. So let's write something here. Right there. Now we see right there what? 3. Do we see any 25 cents there? Any 25 cents line? No. So no line means 0. So if 0 has no value, we don't have to say thousands because 0 has no value. Now we see a 3. So we say 3. And what do we say after the dollar? Hundredths. So you say 300ths. That is 300. All right, let's try something else. I'm just spinning it, rotating it right there. Now, right there you see. How many lines do you see? Remember, we always start with the quarters. Remember, 4 quarters make $1. How many lines do you see there? 1, 2, and now we're past the 0, so we see 3. So that's 3 lines. That's 75 cents. If you don't know, 1 quarter is 25, 2 quarters, 50, 3 lines, 75 cents. What do we say after we say our quarters? Thousand. So 75,000. Now, how many dollars do we see? 1. So dollar is larger than the quarter, so we say the top number, the dollars first. So $100. After we say dollar, we say hundred. 175,000. Okay, you got there? Remember, the bigger value is dollars, so we have to say dollars first. And then we say cents. None of this, we're right here. See, there is no dollar, so we have to say the cents. I mean, yeah, 25 cents. We see only one line. 25. So we say 25,000. All right. Now let's try this one. Right there. Now we see a 4. And we're not quite past the 0. So there are no lines, no 25 cents. So we say 400. That's all. 400. All right, I think you got the hang of that. We'll do one more and then we'll move on. Right there. We see 1, 2. 2 lines. Now, we're not past the 0, so we only see 2 lines visible. So we see how many dollars? $5. So what do we say after the 500? 500 and 2 lines, 50. 25 and 25 is 50. So 550,000. It's that simple. Now, the thimble here. These, I remember I told you, they're all pennies. So we say they're just pennies. They're ones. So 1 cent. So basically, we just add that onto the quarters. So right there. Well, we see 9. And we see any quarters? No, we don't see any quarters. Those are the 25 cent lines. We see a 16 cents. So we say 916,000. Remember, we say a number and then we say thousands at the end. Don't get confused with the cents, because we're adding the cents to our number. Remember I told you, we say a number and then we say thousands. The top number are dollars, so after we say the dollar amount, we say hundreds. These are all pennies, and we add the pennies to the quarters, which are the thousands. So if you're right there and you see this, you don't see any 25 cents. So that's any 25 cent line, that's 0. 0 plus 10. And remember, we say, after we say a number, we have to say thousands. So we had 910,000. That's what that is right there. 910,000. All right, let's do one. We went a little too far on that one. Let's try this one right there. Now, what do we see here? We see how many lines? 1, 2, two 25-cent lines. So 25 and 25 is 50. How many pennies do we see? 5. So 50 plus 5 cents is 55. So when we see $6, so we say 655 thousandths. Remember, we say thousand after we say a number. So you say a number, then you say thousandths. You say these dollar signs here, and we say hundredths. And you always say the dollar amount first. You never say the cents first, or 25 cents and $1, or 50 cents and $6. You don't say it that way. You say the dollar sign first. So 600 and now let's try this one. So we see how many lines? 1, 2, 3. So 25 cents 3 times is 75. How many pennies? 0. How many dollars? We see 6. So it's 675 thousandths. Okay, I think you're getting the hang of it now. See how easy that is? Right there. You see 3 lines and a 9. So 75 cents plus 9 cents. And then plus $3. So 75, 80 plus 4, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. So that's 384 cents. I'm sorry, 384 thousandths. You guys are getting me confused there. Remember, you say a number, then you say thousandths. You say the top number here, and those are in dollars, and it takes 100 pennies to make $1, so you say hundredths. So, I think you got the hang of it now. Let's try something just random right there. Now, you see a 2, and we'll just make it a little easier here and put it on the 7. So, that's $2, so that'll be 207 thousandths. Remember, you say a number, and then you always say thousandths. Right there. Again, it's getting all these tenths. Alright, we see what? 3 numbers plus 15. So, what do we see here? 275 plus 15 is 95. 75, 80, 85, 90 is 90, not 95. 75 plus 15 cents is 90. So 290,000. And now you always check if you get a little confused. You don't know if you can't see that line right there. So you say 275 plus 15, 90, 90 plus 5, 90, 95, 95, 100. And there you have 3. You had 290. And then if you just add forward, 75 plus 15, 90, 90, 95, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 100 pennies make $1. And what you have there? 3 hundredths. You see? So you have to always check yourself. If you're not sure, if you can't see that line or you're not sure about it, just write, say what you think it is. I'll give you a bad example right here. Say, this way. You say you think you see 2 lines. So you say 250 plus 20. 50 plus 20 is what? 70. So you say 270, 70, and then 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. Well, do you see 3 lines there? No, you only see 2 lines. So you know it wasn't 70. It was only 2 lines. So let's back up 5. So right there you only see 1 line then. That's 25 plus 20. So that's 45. 245, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Now you see 2 lines. Remember, 2 lines equals 25 times 2, or 25 plus another 25 is 50. So you know the number back here was only showing you one line, not two. So that's the way you to check yourself if you're not sure. All right, now that you know that part, let's talk about the tenths right here. These are all tenths. Now the way we read these tenths is 10 1,000. Now that's not sound confusing to a lot of you guys. How do I say that? 10 1,000. All right. In the industry, the standard, all you say is tenths. So you're going to see a number. You're going to see a number, and after you say that number, you're going to say tenths. That's all. Remember, let's backtrack. Each line here, you're going to see a number, a line. That line represents 25. You're going to say a number, and then you're going to say thousandths. The top number here are dollars. They're represented by 100 pennies make $1. So whatever number you see here, you're going to say that number, and then you're going to say hundredths. And these are all pennies. 1 cent, all you do is add them to your 25s. So you really say a number, and then you say thousandths. Now these, you're going to say one of these numbers, and then all you're going to say is tenths. So you say a number, and then say tenths. So we're going to put it all together. Whoa, that's a pretty good, decent one. Okay, it's right there. So what we see? We don't see any 25 lines in 25 cents. So we're going to say 300. Now, remember, here's your line, number line. And we are past the 16. So we're going to say 316 thousandths. And we're going to flip it over and see which line lines up. You're looking for a line that lines up. Now, to give you a clue, you want to look at the number line here. I think I moved it. Put it right there. And then I just put the lock on so it doesn't move. Okay. Now, to give you an estimate where to look here, we're going to divide 10. Because there's 10 numbers here. We start from 0 to 9 plus another 0. So we count those 10. And because 10 tenths make 1,000. So we're going to look at here and estimate where it is. And our 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 5 is our datum, our starting point. Either it's going to be above 5 tenths or below 5 tenths. And you see right here, we're at the 16. And we just see it's kind of right in the middle. So we know we should start to look at the 5. So we want to start here at the 5. And we just see there's the 5. Does the 5 look like it lines up? No. It's above the 5. The 24 is above the 5. So we drop 1 to 4. Yeah, the 4 it lines up. The number 23, the number 23 lines up with the 4. And we look one below it and one above it. So the 3, you can see how the 3 tenths or the number 22 is offset. And the number 24 line is offset. And the best line is the number 23. Now, don't worry about these. Remember, these belong to pennies. These are pennies. We're not talking about those already. We already talked about these. So there's no reason to get confused. Do I say this number? No. I was just giving you an example of which line lines up. So the best line lines up is this one. This one here. And we go across and we see that says 4. Remember what I told you, what the rule is. You say this number and then you say tenths. Alright? So let's put it all together. We have 316 thousandths and 4 tenths. That's it. That's how you read a micrometer. We're just adding all together. Right there. Let's make it a little easier. Right there. That is 3 lines because we're past the 0. We're past the 0. So let me just put the lock so it doesn't move on me. So let's put it all together. We see 100, 3 lines, that's 75, plus 1, 75, 76,000, 176,000, and we can see here that it's just barely above the 1, so we're going to look below the 5/10 line. So we know it's going to be more than 5, it's going to be less than 5, and it looks like you can see how all those are mismatch, offset, right there, the 4. It looks like that 4/10. I want to get a dinner one. Right there. Let's put the line. Alright, so what do we see here? We see 2 lines. That's 50 cents. 50 plus 19 plus 100. Now, a lot of you guys say, oh, I can't add that fast in my head. All these numbers. Let me show you a shortcut, alright? We know the best way to count anything is by 5s. It's easy. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Alright? So, we see 2 lines. That's 50 plus 15. That's 5 nickels. So, we have 50, 55, 60, 65, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. You see how easy that is? 69. You can count that in the head. You don't need a calculator or paper and pencil. And then I'll show you how to verify it. Alright, so you got 169 thousandths. And we look over here. And we find... Oh my goodness, is that still the 4? That is 3 times in a row. And you saw I just flicked it. This thing likes 4/10. What's the odds on that? Look at that. Oh my goodness. You know, let me see. I'm going to just roll it. There. Okay, now we have what here? We see 2 lines. So that's 50 plus... Now, here's a good example. See, it's not past the 19. It's 18. So, 50 plus 3 nickels, because 3 nickels makes 15. So, 50, 55, 60, 65, 65, and then 66, 67, 68. 68. So, what do we say? We have no dollars, so it's 68,000. 68,000, and it better not be 4/10 anymore. And okay, it's not 4/10. And look at it looks like 8. Yep. 8. And what do we say after we say one of these numbers? We say tenths. So 8/10. So you can see here that it's past the 18, below the 19. So we're past the midway point of 5/10. So we know it's going to be above 5. So that we don't have to worry about looking down here below. We know it's going to be above 5. So we look at here at 5. And we see that it's the 8, which makes sense because it's almost to the 19. So we're only 2/10 short of a whole number. Remember I told you 10/10 make a whole. These are fractions. So 10/10, it takes 2/10, and then we would have 19. A whole number. Alright, so basically that's how you read a micrometer. Hopefully I made it simple for you guys and you understood. Now, I have worksheets for you guys at my website, and I'll list the website down below. Right here is belly. And I hope you take advantage of these worksheets, because I spend a lot of time making them for you, and all you have to do is ask for them. Make sure you subscribe and ring that bell, because that tells me that you guys are interested, and I have a whole lot more. The next one, we to do a video on veneer calipers, and I have a whole bunch more. Like I said, this is what I've done for the last 30 plus years. I had my own business. I did work for McDonnell Douglas, Boeing, a whole bunch of other aircraft manufacturers, and private sector jobs. And I have a world experience, and I am a journeyman machinist, the real thing. So I got a lot of knowledge. I'm retired, and I'm trying this out on YouTube to show you guys, help you guys out, because I seen a lot of these videos, try how to read a micrometer, and you know, it's complicated if you never even seen one of these things, and they tell you all these tenths and hundreds and thousands, how to say it. You know, I teach my employees this method. I give tests, mic tests, when they apply for a job. You got to know how to use this, because we live and die from this micrometer. You know, everything that we do, we have to live with our tolerance. If you can't read this, it doesn't matter if you know how to cut steel, plastic, or aluminum. If you can't read this, you can't hold tolerance. You're just no good in the industry. Because we live and die by this. This tool tells us if we're going to survive or we're going to go out of business. And I tell you, I've done work for Boeing for over 30 years. Actually, over 2.5 decades. That's about over 25 years, 26 years. You can't do, you know, one job and do a bad job and have them come back and tell you, hey, we got more work for you. No, it doesn't work that way. And the reason why we live and die by this. If you can't hold tolerance, you can't hold tenths, they won't call you back. They won't even take your phone calls, your emails. You know, they just go somewhere else. Somebody who knows how to read this, knows how to use this. Because anybody, to put a monkey on a lathe and he'll cut it, but he won't be able to hold tolerance. He'll just cut it. He'll just cut steel. The machine will cut steel all by itself. You put it on automatic feed and it would cut all day. So what I'm trying to say is anybody can run a machine, but it takes a special person to learn how to use this correctly, that makes him have a future, a longevity in the machine shop industry. Because, like I said, I can't say any better. You live or die by this. If you don't know how to read this, you don't know how to use this, you don't know how to clean it, you don't know how to hold it, you know, you're in the wrong business. You should go cut wood shop. Alright, I have other videos. It all depends on you guys. If you subscribe, hit that bell, that tells me you like what I have to offer to you guys, and I have a lot more. There's hole patterns, bolt circles. A lot of problems I see there from the internet is you guys have a lot of problems with knurling. Knurling is very tricky. You got to know how to do it. And I've seen some of the explanation is really complicated. And it doesn't have to be that way. Knurling. The proper use of oil, different type of oils. That's a big one on the internet. You guys, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I'm here to, if you want to learn, I'll teach you all about different type of oils. And they are a different type of oil. There is no one oil for all, and that's WD-40. No, WD-40 doesn't work for all that. All right, I appreciate it. The YouTube channel is called Skunk Work, and if you leave a lot of comments in there, tell me what you want to learn, the next video I should make. It all depends on you guys. I'm hoping to get at least 1,000 subscribers. That would tell me an indication that, hey, you like what I have to say. All right. Good luck to you guys. Hope to hear. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and give me a thumbs up. You know, I need that. It tells me that you like what I have to say. And I hope to hear from you and read your comments and hear from you soon. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.